Yo friends, welcome back to Sister Punk Studios. I've got a bunch of anime reviews and sweet vlogs on my playlist. Show me some love with a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. I've stumbled on a rich and detailed dark fantasy anime, The Ancient Magus Bride. This beautifully mysterious story has carved its name as an occult classic. This fantastical setting had such strong writing based on in-depth folklore of dragons, fairies, goddesses, and will-o-wisps. And those are just a few creatures to name from English, Scottish, and other European lore. This evolves with a powerful soundtrack and a textured animation design, and tells of a somber but hauntingly relatable magical love story, beginning in the bleak realities that I and many have faced, of abandonment, depression, and self-loathing that can leave you at the edge of hopelessness or the absolute darkness of rock bottom. But our characters create connections that become new family, identity, and sense of purpose. We follow our teenage protagonist, Chise, whose life is constantly filled with dread and misfortune. Chise has been able to see mysterious beings ever since childhood that she's never really been able to understand. And because of this, she was feared and hated by her family. Her father and brother abandoned her, and her own mother ended her own life right in front of her after lashing out against her daughter, leaving Chise alone and unwanted by any of her relatives. She gives up on life, but determines if she could at least be of use to one person, it'd be worth it. Drained of any purpose, she allows herself to be sold into human trafficking. Chise is sold in an underground auction to the highest bidder in the flashiest manner, to a mysterious, skull-headed magician named Elias. He flies her away to his forest sanctuary of strange creatures like those she envisioned as a child, and reveals to her that she has the potential to become a magician herself, and use her abilities from being what he calls a sleighbeggy, who draws strength and power from the magical beings and energy of the forest. At this point, Chise is totally confused by Elias, who she probably thought was going to abuse her as a servant or take her body in some strange magical ritual. Frankly, she's most surprised that she isn't being mistreated, and that she has some sense of freedom and an opportunity that she's never experienced before. But then she realizes that Elias doesn't just want her as an apprentice. He wants her as his bride. Whoa now, I was not expecting that. And I gotta be honest, it really turned me off the first time I watched it. Anime is weird enough without teenagers selling themselves into slavery and being groomed by magicians to become their wives. This anime better explain itself quickly. Quickly! Like, this is really the only stain on this anime for having this totally unnecessary plotline. But I gave it a shot past this point since it was so highly recommended. But soon I realized that Elias doesn't even know what a bride is. He has no concept of human relationships or physical intimacy, or any idea of the complex emotional strife that Chise has experienced her entire life. Elias is truly detached from even his own monstrous transformation. Ultimately, all he really wants, after seemingly centuries of existence, is a companion, someone he can teach to inherit his talents, someone who can talk with him, eat with him, and most importantly, teach him about the human emotions and behaviors that he has forgotten after losing himself to black magic. In a way, both Chise and Elias lost their humanity entirely, but somehow in their tragic existences, they provide each other the care and consideration needed to change and free themselves from mental slavery. Elias, thankfully, acts only as a mentor and guardian to Chise, as she heals from her past life, enables her magical powers, and builds relationships that teaches her character valuable life lessons about the dangers and wonders of this new world. And in a way, Chise too acts as a mentor and guardian to Elias, who despite his magical genius and smooth talking, Elias is confused about the many layers of his past and is extremely distant from his emotions. Chise teaches him comfort, the pain of loneliness, the fury of jealousy, and the gift of happiness. And through this, it creates something that neither of them had before, a home, somewhere to feel safe and understood and learn and be together. But not every case has a happy ending. Even as Chise begins to change her life along her journey with Elias, there is always a lingering thread of dread. But she still becomes a character that signifies so much hope, because she pushes forward when she discovers what brings value to living. And she builds the will to persevere through the trials of this magical realm, while also consciously deciding what's important enough to sacrifice her life to protect. This strange codependency becomes her strength and motivation to grasp her magic capabilities and decide her future, not her end. And what I found beautiful in this ontological way was the relationship between Elias and Chise. They both evolve as they start as damaged souls who needed to be saved by a human connection. Their relationship does questionably begin as master and slave, but then reveals its true self and the challenges of being a magus and apprentice, amongst the confused attempt of Elias making Chise his bride, to then mirroring the relationship between parent and child, whether it was Elias acting as a guardian to Chise, or Chise mothering Elias out of another emotional tantrum. Soon this bond becomes family, friends, and life companions. And by the end of this anime, you're left with this positive warmth from the sad coldness where our characters started off. The Ancient Magus Bride allows us to see through its world, characters, and story. If you fancy yourself a creative experience that blends between the lines of fiction and reality, then take a chance and fall deep into this mysterious but comforting fantasy anime. If you like this review, leave a comment, drop a like, and subscribe, and get notified for new videos at Sistapunk Studios. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Bitch, start tripping, now I'm blue. Mega Man.